What's up, everybody? We are going to a very special spot today. And if you've been a camper during the summer here at Circle C Ranch, you're gonna recognize this spot. Oh, this is where for like 15 years, every week we set up a camera and we ask you, the campers, for an interview. We ask you, what's your favorite part about camp and what did God teach you this week? And so, today, I'm gonna do an interview. So my favorite part about camp, this is actually really funny. Sometimes during the summer, the staff will keep track of who gets the most mentions in the favorite part of camp. And sometimes we have to be like, okay, whoa, chill, all right? It's not that big of a deal. The staff are very passionate, very competitive people. This summer, there's only one interview. And I guess I get to determine who the winner is for the most favorite part about camp. So my favorite part about camp is, oh gosh, there's so much pressure actually. Alright, just comment below what your favorite part about camp is. Just to make that easier for me. Whoever has the most comments wins. Okay, too much pressure. Wow, I really thought that would be a fun thing, but no, it's too much. So, the second question we always ask the campers is, what did God teach you this week? Okay, this whole video is actually Chloe's idea. Most of the ideas that are good, that I do, that really seem to work out well, 9 times out of 10 they were Chloe's idea. She's a creative genius. Don't let her tell you anything else. She suggested that I do this interview for the behind the scenes vlog for the week, and I'm very excited about it. The more I thought about it, I was like, well, that's a killer idea. We're gonna do it. So the second question, besides what's your favorite part about camp, the second question is, what did God teach you this week? And so I'm gonna answer, what did God teach me this summer? And it's so many things, but the first thing is kind of the same thing he teaches me every summer, at least for the past few. In the past few summers, I've been in a position of leadership where I am responsible for putting staff and getting staff and assigning staff. And a lot of times I have to rely completely on God. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but for example, last summer, it was a week before campers got here, and I needed 4 girl counselors. Not just one, I couldn't just call in a favor from a friend, I needed 4. And I was like, God, you gotta bring them in. And he did, and just 4 people, through different circumstances, just showed up on the perfect time. And in so many ways, like for the past few summers, that just happens time and time again. Just God just showing up and just being like, hey, dummy, I got it. And so this summer, obviously it's different, but still, it's just like, right when I'm at like the end of the line, just like, okay, I don't have any options here, God's just like, boom, here's an idea, boom, here's some people, boom, boom, boom. There were so many times in the summer when we had to film a video, and it was just like, okay, I don't have any ideas, and then all of a sudden God would just be like, here's an incredible idea, there you are. Oh, here's a blessing. The biggest example that I can think of is the Junkyard. Ron Prevy's a good friend of ours, and he told us that he was going to be having a 4th of July celebration, that we could come and film some stuff. And we had no idea what it was going to be. We had no idea what was going to be going on there. And I didn't have anything else. I was just like, okay, we got to make this work. And so we got there having no idea what they were going to do. And we see the same exact van that we use for our outreach program. I was just like, bada bing, bada boom, we're gonna use this thing. And then the first time they did it, did not work at all. And then they tried it again, and it ended up working out perfect. And it's like one of our most viewed Fun Friday videos. And it was just like, bloop, I know you don't have an idea. Bloop, there you go. Another instance of me trusting and relying on God is, there's so many people that have helped and have just jumped in and helped create virtual camp, helped create the shootout. And it's just like, if these people didn't show up to help us, this stuff would not have happened. Like my friend Cade came from Chicago to help film. The Crosleys committed their whole weekend to just coming and helping us film the shootout. For Reach TV, I always wanted to have an interview at the end to just kind of wrap somebody else's story into it, hear a new perspective. And there were times where I would have already filmed everything else for Reach TV and I didn't have an interview, and there wasn't gonna be anyone else that was showing up. I was just like, all right, God, I mean, if you don't want there to be a table talk, that's fine, but if you do, you gotta bring somebody. I don't have anybody. And in 2 instances, which happened to be some of my favorite interviews, people were just like, yeah. Like Rachel, she just showed up. She's just like, I wanted to visit. I feel like God wanted me to visit. I was like, yes, let me get an interview. And then Alicia, was here at my sister's grad party, and I was just like, hey, I need an interview. And she decided to help, and that was one of the best interviews I've had. And what she had to share really goes along with what else I've been learning this summer. Because she told a story about when she was in Bible club, and she did this Bible club, and she did it for almost 2 years, and she was the only one that went. And at the time I heard that story, I was like, man, this is terrible. But as we were doing the interview, it just dawned on me. God doesn't call us to be successful. He calls us to be obedient. And there's been so many times throughout this whole process of doing the Reach TV for 21 weeks and with virtual camp that I have just beat myself up. It's just been like, I am not doing good enough. I'm not getting as many views as I should. And I told my friend Austin, and I was just like, dude, I feel like I'm really dropping the ball. And he helps me realize it's not about success in our eyes. It's about being obedient to what God's put in front of you. Whether you view our virtual camp as a success, or whether I view it as a success, that doesn't matter, really. On a business side, it needs to, work. But the real success, at least for me personally, has just been being obedient. And so for you guys, I don't know who's watching. I don't know if anybody's watching. That's the whole thing. I'm just being obedient. For you guys, whatever you're doing, whatever you feel like God has put in front of you, and if you're being good stewards of that, it doesn't matter what happens. It matters that you are being responsible for what He's put in front of you. Don't beat yourself up if you're not getting as many views on your videos. Don't beat yourself up if you've been praying for something and it seems to get worse, honestly. Don't beat yourself up. You're being obedient with what you have, and continue to trust on that, and God's gonna bless you, and God's gonna honor you. And more than anything, you are being a good steward. And so those are the two things that God's taught me this summer. It's just that you need to trust in Him, and even when things seem like there's no solution, when He shows up, it doesn't matter. He's gonna blow your mind. And then the second thing, my success doesn't matter. It's just about being obedient with what God's given me. And so those two things are the things that I've learned this summer. And I know this is a shorter video, and it's probably not as exciting to watch because it's literally one shot of me sitting here where a lot of you have sat before. But I hope this has been encouraging, and I really hope that God gives you some opportunities to really trust in Him and really have opportunities to be obedient. Because when you do that, it's going to be awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching some virtual camp. And don't forget to subscribe because we got some exciting wrap-up stuff coming. But thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Can I go back to Tuck and Tack?